Good evening, everybody. Welcome to part 3 or episode 3 of
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
the fuckery in the WNBA is very, very real. And the fuckery among WNBA fans is even realer, if there is such a word. Mr. Shugs, the first one in. Thanks for coming. Money Motion, How could you fuck that up? I'm going to explain that, and I'm going to tie this into what BGS was just talking about. Sig Diggy from Norway, welcome to you. Please support via Cash App. I desperately need y'all support via Cash App to help pay some bills here in the house and to get some things together for my wife and my family. I really, really, really would appreciate it. Adric is here, says, let's do this. Jeffrey Massey is here also. Good evening, all. Good evening to you. All right, let's get started. The faces you see on your screen are that of Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese. Picks 1 and 7 in the recent WNBA draft. Next to that is the question of the year.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
You know how they're fucking this up? By allowing fans who think they know the game, watch the game, pay attention to the game, pay attention to the culture, be a part of the culture. That's how they're fucking that up. That's exactly how they are fucking that up. That's exactly how they are fucking this up. Caitlyn Clark got her first win. The Fever got their first win over Los Angeles in Los Angeles. Instead of the rest of the WNBA going, oh shit, they still have fans, and I put the word in quotes, saying, well, she got one win. So what? I'll tell you so fucking what. She's figured it out. Now you just have to put the correct pieces around her. Did Angel Reese have her first double-double of the year? Yes, she did. 11 points, 12 rebounds. You know something, though? I can't switch the screens because I don't have it. You know, that ended up in an L also. But people seem to forget about that. People seem to forget about the fact that both of these teams lost in the past week. The Fever are playing tonight, and they play Saturday. I'll have coverage of that game on Saturday. RC, welcome to you. Keel Bonner, welcome to you. And Dr. Dre, what's going on, man? They're allowing the fans to dictate. Let me try this again. Let me try my statement again. They're allowing the fans on social media to dictate how coverage should be. Because I recently tried to hop on a panel to talk some WNBA, and there was a term that was brought up during this discussion. That made me want to vomit, and not for the reason that people are thinking. What's up, All-Star G? Not for the reason that people are thinking of. It made the statement that I heard was, and I quote, the question came up about Caitlyn Clark. I forgot the specific question. I'll try to answer it as best as I'll try to repeat it as best as I can as it comes back to memory. The only thing I heard in this conversation, and I lasted all of 30 seconds, was this phrase, quote, she's got no sex appeal. What? Andre 420, it's mostly black women, if not all, against Caitlyn. But I'm all for her though. I don't watch the WNBA. I know a lot of people that never watch the WNBA, but they tune in to watch Caitlyn Clark do her thing. They tune in to watch Caitlyn Clark do her thing. How could you actually? And I know I've said many times to take the action, and BGS has been with me to take the action off the floor and put it into the proper context. The proper context is they're letting black women fuck this all up. I said it on and off the floor. They're letting the gynocracy fuck this whole thing up when the WNBA got the blessing that they needed. And not just in terms of Caitlyn Clark, but in terms of this very stellar draft class. And remember, one of the best players in the draft class has yet to make her debut. It's Camila Cardoso, the 6'7" center out of South Carolina. She's due to make her debut this weekend. And oh look, the Sky are traveling to Indianapolis, Indiana, to take on Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever. That's when Cardoso will make their debut. But I sound too logical, right? That's too much like logic to let the action play out, right? At least that's what I was told. Well, I don't care. I don't care. You know what this I can't say you know what the stupidest part of this is, because just when you think you found the stupidest part of this, the gynocracy appears and says, "Hold my beer." The gynocracy appears and says, "Hold my beer" every damn time. Every time. Every damn time. You know this. One of the crazy parts about this is that the hatred was there for Caitlyn Clark the moment she got drafted, and all the love was there for Angel Reese the moment she got drafted. Cameron Brink's in the equation, Carmelo Cardoso's in the equation, and there's a few other rookies that were in the equation before these two, who are going to probably be linked forever with saving the league. Right? They're going to be linked forever because of the 2 games they played in college in 2 consecutive years. One produced a national championship, the other produced a trip to the Final Four, and each one of them won one. The difference? Angel Reese won a national championship. True. Can't deny that. Won't ever deny that. I mean, hell, LSU is the only the second college team ever to put up 100 points in a championship game. Will the NBA turn a profit this year? They already have. Caitlyn Clark equals profit. End of story. To the point where a few of these teams have moved their games from their usual arena to a bigger one. And you're right, Keel. Hold on a minute. Mr. Suge, thank you. Here's the bag. Wait, I have to turn my camera on here. Hold on. For y'all to get the full effect of how we kept running this. And this is the only time I'm going to turn this on. Okay? Now, I want y'all to listen carefully, because I've said it before. This is the bag, WNBA. This is you dropping the bag. Any questions? But to go back to the comment that I heard that pissed me off, that flat out pissed me off. Caitlyn Clark has no sex appeal. What? Why are you making up reasons for Caitlyn Clark to fail? Why does the gynocracy get the ability to make up reasons for Caitlyn Clark to fail? It's the fact that she's already frustrated because the Fever are 1-7 on the year. There's blame to go all the way around. Yes, I never said otherwise. Damn it. I never said otherwise. But they are allowing this fuck up to happen again. Isn't that the NBA's dime, though? Yes, it was. WNBA players are now on private flights. All the owners of the WNBA need to come together and say, you know what, we're going to run this. We're going to run our organizations our way, because they have been fed money by the NBA for its entire existence. But the guy in the panel that where I only lasted 30 seconds says she doesn't have any sex appeal. The hell has that got to do with her game on the floor? There was another comment, 16 shots to make 17 points. I told y'all she's trash and she's a bust. What? And you're right, RC. They're turning back into the trouble you NBA. Yes, they are. Because they are allowing this bullshit to continue, and they're allowing the gynocracy to seep into the WNBA. Half of them don't even watch the goddamn games. Half of them don't even watch the games, and they're making comments about it. Colorado State, anyone? And Keel, you just said the reason that I'm doing this series. Bam! Right there. It is shameful. It's shameful to them that a Becky is carrying the league. What should be shameful is the fact that they don't recognize that the best player in the draft is carrying the league. Indiana won 13 games last year. 13. 8 games are in the books right now, with one tonight and another one Saturday. They'll be a quarter of the way into the books. No one said this would be easy. No one said this would be easy. No one said this would be easy, period. This is not supposed to be easy, because if it were easy, she'd be undefeated. And oh, by the way, the Connecticut Sun are undefeated. Oh, by the way, the Connecticut Sun are the best team in the league. Oh, by the way, the Connecticut Sun is a dark horse for the NBA, for the WNBA World Championship Series. And yes, I'm saying the whole thing. Here's Andre. Apparently, the rookies now look a lot better. I seen random posts from ESPN on YouTube, and they all look feminine except for Caitlyn. Maybe a new day has dawned in the WNBA. You goddamn right it has. You know who's not accepting it? The gynocracy. You know who won't accept it? The gynocracy. You know who don't want to accept the new day has dawned and the WNBA can actually turn a profit and actually make their league worth watching again? The gynocracy. What? Magic Johnson and Larry Bird saved the NBA in 1979. Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark have the same possibility and the same chance to do the same for this league over the next couple of years. But I will tell you up front, personal, and right now, the gynocracy has invaded this. They have invaded this. And Suge, you're right. I don't see any black men complaining that Luka can arguably be the face of the league soon. I'm not complaining about that. See, there's the difference. We judge players in the NBA by their action and what they do on the floor. Why can't we do the same for the ladies? Why can't we give them the same respect? I'll tell you why, because there's a bias in play. And the gynocracy is creating, editing, and running the bias. Why do I say editing? Because just when you think you got it figured out, they decide to move the goalposts and change the goddamn question. They decide to move the goalposts and change the question. Kind of like Chicago Bear fans I know that are moving the goalposts saying Caleb's going to be the best rookie that ever played in the NFL. Shut the fuck up with that bullshit. In honor of BGS, shut the fuck up with that bullshit. Stop. I'll tell you another reason, and this is and this is and this is and this is another thing. It's what I said a few moments ago. Half of these women don't watch basketball. More to the point, half of these women don't want to watch basketball, not for the X's and O's. Hell, 5 years ago, the Aces finished 8-26. They are now the defending two-time WNBA champions. It's called progression, gynocracy. It's called a natural progression. Michael Jordan had to go through it. Magic Johnson had to go through it. Larry Bird had to go through it. Hell, Magic Johnson had to go through it 5 years into the league when he choked away the series in 1984. And he made up for it the next year with a 6-game conquest of the same opponent and won the 6th game in Boston Garden. A turnaround can happen for a team. You learn from the year before, you put the right pieces together, you get a cornerstone, in which Caitlyn Clark is. And you go from there. That's all. That's it, and that's all. But no. Again, this is the bag. This is the WNBA dropping it. Any questions? These head up their ass, stick up their ass kind of fans, quote unquote, doesn't realize something that Jeffrey Massey just said. It's a process. It's a learning process. What did Doc Rivers say one year? You got to focus, you got to sustain, and you got to go through the process. That's what these young ladies are doing now. These rookies, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Carmela Cardoso, Caitlyn Clark, they are focusing, they are sustaining, and they're going through the process. They're going through the process, man. Thank you, RC. It's 8-26 in 2017. 7 years later, they're the two-time defending champions. You know what the gynocracy is trying to melt this into? Think about, and I know most of you were over at BGS's stream. Think about all those questions about why dating is the way that it is. You can morph it into why the fandom of the WNBA is the way that it is. You can morph it right into that. You can morph it right into that. Come on, y'all. This is too easy. This is way too easy. This is way too easy. And now, why aren't the fans, aka the gynocracy, saying, oh shit, Caitlyn Clark got her first win? Why aren't they saying, oh shit, Caitlyn got her first win? Let me see. Because of the overall record, because of the turnovers, because of the stats that she's putting up, and even given the fact that she has her first 30-point game, the first of many. They brush it off like it's nothing, like it can't happen again, this time in a win, this time in a few victories. This gynocracy is just plain stupid. It's stupid. They don't even worry or think about what happens on the floor. They don't. They don't want to care about what happens in the on the floor. On the floor. They don't care. That's sad. It's sad that it's come to this. It's sad that they don't read that the gynocracy doesn't realize how many eyes are being put on this league right now. Sick Diggy said it best. Who benefited from the status quo prior to this season? Not a goddamn person. Does it seem like there are players in the WNBA are not happy with the oncoming changes and prefer the previous arrangement? Yep. You know why? Because Caitlyn Clark showed up and showed out. Caitlyn Clark showed up and showed the fuck out. Let me change my sentence and make it present tense. She is showing the fuck out. She's showing the fuck out. And she's going to continue to show out. You can blame the coach all you can blame the coach all you want. You can blame her teammates all you want. And the teammates know they had to get better. They knew they had to get better. What did BGS say when he was on a discussion with me the first time? That was the first thing he highlighted was the teammates. Come on now. Now they're connected. Those passes that went through that Caitlyn Clark would throw that went through hands, and I mean straight through. Now they're starting to connect. Uh-oh. Now they're starting to find people on the break. And the Indiana Fever, though 1-7, are starting to find out what they can do as a team. Uh-oh. You know what the biggest uh-oh would be? Do I expect it to happen this year? I'm going to say no, but stranger things have happened. What if Indiana and Chicago met in the Eastern Conference Finals? Then everybody would get the matchup that they wanted with Angel Reese taking on Caitlyn Clark, and you know the narratives would be off the chart and out the door. I'll repeat a point that not only I have said, but many others have said with me. With the arrival of Caitlyn Clark, it's forcing a lot of players in the WNBA to step up their game. Oh, they can build a brand around this draft class. Oh, Caitlyn Clark has ridden to the rescue, and yet the gynocracy is helping them fumble the bag away. Don't listen. Don't let the gynocracy fumble the bag away. Don't, because that's as crazy as it sounds. And we're 10 games into the season. That's what's happening right now. Billions of dollars are sitting right there for the taking. billions of dollars. And yes, I said it right. Billions of dollars are right there for the taking. Everything is right there. Dear God, it's right there. I just have to embrace it, man. I just have to embrace it and learn how to market it. They're starting to get the picture. Some folks in charge are finally starting to figure it out. And that should frighten the daylights out of a lot of people that loved the status quo of the WNBA, which meant not getting enough eyes on them, and yet the complaining continues. Not getting enough ears onto their product, and the complaining continues. Not getting enough sponsorships, and the complaining continues. Not having private flights, and the complaining continues. Look on your screen. You see the reason all that's changing. And she wears number 22. I would love to have Angel Reese as a part of this. I would. But she needs to improve her game, man. She needs to improve her. She needs to improve. She needs to improve her game. She needs to add a few things, and that's only going to take time. I'll say it again. That's only going to take time. It's going to take time and a hell of a lot of practice. Hell, there are people that'll say to me they will still watch other things than the WNBA. Okay, fine. But I will say this, you're going to miss out on a whole lot of fun. You're missing out on a whole lot of fun, especially with the renaissance that women's sports are going through right now. You're missing out on a whole lot of fun. And it's going to get better. Watch. It's going to get better. Over time, it's going to get better. Again, what's the rule? You got to focus, you got to sustain, and you got to go through the process. Believe me, the process has started. It'll be a better process than what the Philadelphia 76ers went through and still continue to go through and still will always go through until they get the right people in place. That's the point. You got to have the right people in place. You got the right person in place right now. Hell, you see two of the players that are in place right now that are the right people in place. Let them improve. Let them make their game better. Let them make their game better, man. Let them be themselves. Or else, and you're right, she does have to work on her ball handling, because the one thing I do see with Caitlyn Clark since she's been in the league, if her team trails, she panics. She panics, which turns into a lot of turnovers, which turns into a run for her opponent. Saw it game 1 against Connecticut, which led to a 21-point blowout. That's something she has to work on, and it will take time to do. Just calm down. Got to calm the nerves down. And again, it takes time. I know there are days I have to calm down to do this, and I've been in the game doing sports talk and doing play-by-play for 30 years, almost 30. It'll be 30 years this fall. It takes time. And the most important thing this development is going to take, something I admittedly don't have a lot of, patience. I've been a fan of women's hoops since 1982, 42 years. Patience is going to be the key to this. Just like, gentlemen, patience is going to be the key if you're not with somebody already to find the one that you're with, that you want to be with. Let me change my statement. Patience, man. Yeah, she has to come off screens like Klay Thompson, but she's the ball handler. She's the primary ball handler. Teach them how to step their game up and set better screens. Figure out what the problems are. And I think they're starting to figure them out. The turnovers, the offensive fouls, the let's go fundamental, the screens, as Michael just said, right? The answers are all there. The answers are all there. The answers are all there. Just got to figure it out and put it in the put it in the puzzle in its proper place. That's all. And it's gonna, and now again is once again, it's gonna require something that a lot of people that looked at a WNBA game for the first time, and I've had many people admit that to me. It's going to take a lot of what? Patience. Because what is Caitlyn Clark bringing to the WNBA right now? Money. What is Caitlyn Clark bringing to the teams that are involved? Money. Hell, one of their games against the Sparks was played at Staples. Their game against the Sparks, I beg your pardon, they're in two different conferences. They're played at Staples. It was played at Staples. Supposed to be played somewhere else. It was played at Staples. The games against Vegas is going to be transferred to T-Mobile Arena, and the only reason why some of these arenas may not change is because of a scheduling conflict. What Caitlyn Clark is going to need, and Sick Dicky just climbed into my head, is a mentor. And I will tell you exactly who that mentor should be, because she's the one that said Caitlyn was going to struggle. Diana Taurasi. Diana had to go through the process also. Counselors, mentors, all of that. Because you're basically throwing them on an island and saying, here, figure it out, without all of the proper guidance that is necessary for a team to succeed. But if the players can figure it out, like Caitlyn Clark is starting to figure it out, then this is going to be quite dangerous for the gynocracy in motion. It's going to be quite dangerous for him. And once it becomes, listen, when you beat the most dangerous opponent, you become the most dangerous opponent. I'm borrowing from the playmaker, and he is so right. When you beat the most dangerous opponent, which in this case is the gynocracy, you become the most dangerous opponent. When you beat the most dangerous team, you become the most dangerous team. And you're right, Angel Reese does have a lot of growing up to do. She's got to find the right everything to help her build her brand, because she's on an island doing this by herself and she's failing miserably. I'll say it again. She's failing miserably. The rookies are going to struggle. Okay. It's their rookie year. New league, New rules. They're figuring it out. Okay? They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. Just leave them. Just leave them be, man. Just leave them be. That's all. Otherwise, you are going to keep hearing a very common question.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
Well, that's all I got for now. Hope you all enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed everything. If you have, please do not be afraid to leave a like, a comment, and most importantly, as I'm trying to help my family, a Cash App. And I will put the Cash App on screen really quick as we wrap up. And it's right here. This mission is not only to expose the dangers of what's going on in the WNBA socially and broadcast wise, this is also for me in an attempt to help my family. If I'm allowed to get personal here for a moment, I cried a lot today because for the longest time I felt that I would never be able to help my family again, especially after beating cancer, after beating blood clots in both my lungs, after having a toe amputated. I'm trying to take my own advice, y'all. I really am. I'm trying to take my own advice and tune out the noise. I'm trying to tune out the noise. Just like these young ladies are trying to tune out the noise. But some days, like for me today, it is just so hard to do. It's just so hard to do. From a fellow who preaches and tries his best to practice what he preaches about tuning the noise out and continuing to go forward. Let's let these rookies do the same thing. Let's let them do the same thing. It's gonna be the rough. It's gonna be the roughest lesson. Trust me, it's gonna be. It's gonna be the roughest lesson. And the right support network, and thank you, Sick, for that. The right support network is going to pull them through. Best support network has always pulled me through. Always has, and always will, even on tough days like this. This was a tough day, but getting through it. When I start next week in doing this, I'm going to do something to keep myself organized. I'm going to have some notes so I don't get too far off track. But I will make this promotion here. With what BGS spoke about today about the dating conundrum, I will speak about tomorrow. To a point where I'm not even going to do a morning show tomorrow because I know I'm going to be exhausted. I know I'm going to be exhausted tonight, but we'll see what happens. I'm scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll see. We will see what happens. If nothing else, y'all will see a couple of interviews on the channel, and we'll get ready for Monday. But we'll see. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging with me for the past hour. Thanks for hanging around with me. And thanks for your support. Again, if you can, please drop a cash app to $ Tallman Dr. K50 so I can continue to support not only this venture, but support my household. Thanks, everybody. Good night.